Hello, everybody. Welcome to Transcend with NNG. I am your host, Brittany Walker, also known as New Nation Goddess. Welcome to episode 9. We've made it to episode 9 in season 1. We're going to be talking about the last frequency of elevation. So we've gone through the first 7, and we're going to be discussing today the 8th frequency of elevation, which is authentic elevation. So for today, we're going to learn how to maintain our peace and how to truly operate at our highest. So we always like to start the episode off with the I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A for affirmations, and M for manifestations. So today, the I am power statement is I am unstoppable and at peace through operating at my most authentic self. Ashe. We accept and receive that goodness. All right. I also like to follow through with a good resource for today. So the resource that we have, of course, our book reference. We're going to do the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is like maybe one of my top 3. I don't even want to say top 5, top 3. I first read this book in 2013 when I was going through a major transition in my life, and it started opening my eyes and allowed me to think out of a 2D frequency. I started thinking at 3D, then elevating to 4D, 5D, so on. So if you don't know about the different dimensions and the different frequencies and vibrations that you can elevate to, this is going to help you with starting out at the bottom, at the foundation of what you need to do to start healing yourself and becoming truly at peace, so then you can then operate and conquer what's rightfully yours, fulfilling your purpose and doing what's needed to serve who you're meant to serve. So again, the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We will be inserting that information into the episode description. All right, guys. And normally I have a tea, but today, since the full moon was recent, I always make some moon water infused with some good crystal energy. Got a little bit of lemon in there, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, my usual spices that I like to add. And then a little bit of a tincture. Yes, that's right. A little bit of a THC tincture, herbal blend to help with keeping a good mood, but also elevating the neuromelanin or our pineal gland, which of course is the biggest gland in the brain for people of color. It helps to tap into that creative side. And I've just been in a really, really creative mood. I've been coming up with all these ideas as a generator, as my human design. And that tincture is going to open up some doors to help me even explore more on what these great ideas are. So I'm really excited about it. So it is so good. And if you would like to know the recipe, don't hesitate to reach out by messaging to this podcast or at info@nngconsulting.org is our email. So let's go ahead and deep dive in today, guys. Again, it's the last frequency of our program, the 8 Frequencies of Elevation. This is a program meant for you to transcend and elevate to your highest potential, to get out of conditions and things that are no longer serving you or are now invaluable to you, and allowing you the opportunity to truly prosper and truly reach your highest self. All right, guys, we're all about shifting the mind and elevating. And in order to do so, you have to make some tough decisions. You have to make some applicable actions, and you have to set some boundaries. All right. So with authentic elevation, this is pretty much elevation activation. This is where you've conquered all the other 7 frequencies. And now you know who you truly are and what you're meant to do. You've learned so many different resources. You deep dived into your wellness. You've increased your knowledge. You've acquired wealth. You have develop financial competency. You have great social energy, a great network. So what else is left to do but go flourish and be who you're supposed to be? That is the final activation stage. This is where you're truly at peace. When you wake up in the morning, you're not going to have to deal with drama. You know that you're not going to have to deal with things that are not in your control. You're no longer people pleasing. You're no longer taking on other people's issues as far as emotional and traumatic baggage that can hinder you along in your process. Being at peace is one of the best things that I have achieved in life, knowing that I can get up and I have full control over everything that happens in my life. I am truly free. I'm no longer enslaved to what we have been brainwashed and conditioned to do with our lives. Just because we're not physically shackled with chains and stored at the bottom of a boat and having to be transported from one country to another does not mean that there are other forms of slavery: institutional slavery, educational slavery, corporate slavery, mental slavery as far as controlling your brain and what you do and what you feel like you need to do as far as being involved in drama and unapplicable or invaluable information that you're discovering from social media, being consumed with TV shows that are not giving you any value or not helping you succeed. So it is important that you really find peace in yourself and really find that freedom for yourself. Also learning how to take accountability for all of your actions. All players fuck up. Nobody's going to be perfect. And it is important for you to know when you lost, know when you've taken an L, and know when it was your fault based off of your actions and your decisions. Excuse me, guys. For those of you who are on Spotify, you can see that I'm drinking. For those of you on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Anchor, or even YouTube, you can see it on YouTube. I apologize for the gulping, but moving forward, knowing that when you mess up, that you could take ownership for the things that you've done, knowing that when you have taken an action that might have not been the best decision, that you have the ability to apologize if you need to be able to fix the issue if it's something that's broken or something that you have full control to resolve. It is so essential that you just be a woman or a man about what you've done. Don't hide behind your mistakes. Don't hide behind your issues. Don't try to blame other people. Do not try to set people up or manipulate a situation to where other people are now responsible for your actions. Take accountability. Stepping into integrity and living by integrity is extremely important when you're fulfilling your purpose. What you do when nobody's looking is so important. Just because nobody physically may see you does not mean that the energy you're putting out is not going into the universe. It doesn't mean that the Most High, the ancestors, or the powers that may be can't see what you have going on. You don't want to develop karma, and you don't want to add any unnecessary baggage to your journey. If you worked this hard to heal, to grow, to transcend, why hinder the process because you can't take full ownership for something that you actually did? So it's extremely important that you take ownership. You got to remain consistent. Being consistent in your process will assist you to truly activate. Now, there are going to be times that you may start a project, you may start a goal, you come to a stumbling block, and you might need to take a pause. You might need to rejuvenate. You might even need to move on to another project and come back to this one at a different quarter throughout the fiscal year, or maybe even another year. But it is extremely important that you remain consistent in what you do. Your word is your bond. The actions followed by it makes that bond believable. It makes it trustworthy. So you want to remain consistent in all that you do, especially with the positivity, especially with the optimism. And this doesn't even have to do with just your purpose, your career, your business, your wealth. This could just be in day-to-day life. Be consistent in what you do. Start a morning regimen. We talked about that before. That'll help you jumpstart your day. That can include dealing with your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health. Before you even talk to the world, before you even allow anybody else to come and step into your space or we welcome them to where they're not overstepping a boundary, you have full control to put yourself at peace. So be consistent with that. Be ready to put in hard work. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is extremely easy in entrepreneurship. when you get the hang of things, when you get your skills down pat, things will then come smoother to you. But then as you continue to elevate, your obstacles elevate as well. So you have to be prepared to put in the hard work. Be prepared that when you do hit a stomping block, you know the resources and tools that you have to be able to combat that. You also have to remember, sometimes when a stomping block comes in your way, it could be one of two things, a blessing or a lesson. That blessing could be that it was meant to stop you because you didn't need to go down that path. It can also be a challenge to see, are you going to quit? Are you going to overcome what we're putting in front of you? Are you going to pass this test that's really going to help you jumpstart? Okay? And then having faith that everything that you manifest will come true. As long as you are speaking, embodying positivity, as long as you're putting it out into the universe, as long as you're living by that and having the actions to back those manifestations up, everything that you imagine is possible. There's nothing that you cannot do. Don't ever believe when somebody tell you that you're not capable of something, that you're unable to do something, or allow fear to get in your mind. Fear is an enemy, okay? Fear can come from people. That could be your best friend saying, oh, that's too hard for me, I can't do that. Or your family member saying, well, I never did that, so why do you think you could do it? It could be something as simple as you saw an instance on TV where you had a similar situation, same script, but different cast. But then you now have that fear put in yourself. Fear is something that you bring on, so you have full control to remove it. Do not allow anybody to deter you from your purpose, okay? And you have to be mindful that the distractions, the enemies, the energy leeches, things of that sort are going to come in forms. And I mentioned this in past podcast episodes this season. They're going to come in forms of what's most comfortable to you, which is normally your best friends, your family members, the person that you're in love with, maybe the person that you may be dating, co-workers that have now become good friends, co-workers that could be jealous that you think are your friends. So it is extremely important that you have faith in yourself and you believe in what you truly want to do and believe that you can do and what you're meant to do in this lifetime. If you've had an amazing dream, wake up and journal that. Because maybe it's just not a dream. Maybe it's a vision. Maybe it's your blueprint for the foundation of your purpose. Maybe it's a great business idea that's going to help you contribute to sustainable development goals. So it is important that you have faith in yourself, guys. So again, authentic elevation. This is an extremely short episode. Just wanted to touch on those key points, guys. Peace, taking accountability for your actions, remaining consistent, being ready to put in the work and not being prohibited or hindered in your process, and having faith that everything that you manifest and believe and follow through with action will come true. All right, guys. So that was a recap. Again, guys, we are still taking in listeners' mail. We have been so excited to read everything that you guys are sending. Again, a lot of it, if you want it to be more personal, again, you can reply to send us an email at info@nngconsulting.org, or you are able to reply to this episode directly and submit your information as well. We will continue to respond and also voice what you would like to hear on the podcast. The remainder of this season and for season 2, as we're already developing those episodes. All right, guys. We want to be sure to like our podcast. We're on multiple platforms we mentioned earlier. You could definitely subscribe to our website at www.nngconsulting.org. I'll put that information in the description. You can subscribe to our website to keep up with the latest news, events, and resources. So we send out multiple resources throughout the month that are beneficial for not only you building wealth and not only achieving optimal wellness, but just being free, just transcending, shifting your mind and elevating to your best self. All right, guys. We're also on YouTube, so you can find us at New Nation Goddess on YouTube, where you can get sneak peeks of the podcast episode. You can view the full episode if you're not watching it on Spotify and other information that we have. As always, we want to send gratitude to our listeners. We are so grateful for this amazing group of people that are tuning in. Thank you for all of you who have supported season 1. We are so excited about all that we put out for you guys, and we're hoping that it is beneficial in your growth and as you continue to transcend with NNG. All right, guys, we're going to manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the day for you. Have a beautiful Wealth and Wellness Wednesday ahead. Peace, guys.